Hello, this is just a show, and today's sponsor is A Better World, because whenever you understand the world, that's whenever you can actually change things. And today, we're going to be talking about the game of Monopoly, a game that I used to enjoy, and I guess it's still kind of fun to play. But Monopoly is not just a game. It's a game that represents, or is at least from the point of view of a regular person, and it's about the evils of capitalism. Now, I have the official instruction booklet here, and it says right here that it was invented in 1934 by a man named Charles Darrow. And it says at the time that he pitched this game to Parker Brothers, who would eventually take the game over, he was unemployed. This is what I believe in result to the Great Depression, which kicked in about 1929. At 1934, would have been in full swing. So, I mean, at that idea, or at that point, capitalism was not exactly very high on the list of good things for a lot of people. And the devil is really in the details whenever you read the instructions. One of the things that the booklet had said about, just giving a brief history of it, it said, it was the game's exciting premise of fame and fortune that prompted Darrow to initially produce the game on his own. It says the exciting promise of fame and fortune, not the actual acquisition, but the idea behind it. And it's sort of like the American dream, you know. There's supposed to be this promise of fame and fortune that, I mean, if you go to work and you do your best and you get an education at college, that you will succeed and you'll have money and you will be happy. That doesn't always happen, but that's the dream that capitalism and we try to sell people in this country. Now, a lot of the things in the details are such as the etiquette rule here. If you see an opponent land on another player's property and the owner doesn't notice, it is in your best interest to say nothing. Why would it be in your best interest to say nothing? Because this game does not encourage you to help other people. It encourages you to help yourself. It goes on to say, however, if you pass go and the banker does not notice, it's obviously in your best interest to speak up and collect your $200. It wants you to be in it for yourself and not to help other people. It even says at the end under miscellaneous, money can only be loaned to a player by the bank and then only by mortgaged property. No player may borrow from or lend money to another player. Why would this rule be in here? Why would they not allow one player to help out another player? It's the same way that people work in not communism, but capitalism. That you're supposed to be in it for yourself, that you're supposed to be building up your own fortune, and that everyone around you is supposed to be your opponent. I mean, hell, even the object of the game. The object of the game is to become the wealthiest player through buying, renting, and selling property. Not the player that works together, not the player that tries to improve the world, but the person who acquires the most wealth in the form of money and property, in what you own. This sounds like it was made by somebody who is not a big fan of capitalism, and someone who clearly had it in for people who are at the top, the ones who have all of the money, which clearly at that time you would have been in a world in 1934, whenever you look around, the majority of people that you know and see on a daily basis live in Hoovervilles and shanty towns. And then you see the investment bankers that are high society types, smoking cigars and sitting in chairs. I mean, hell, that's even one of the pictures that you see right here. The main character, named Moneybags, sitting in an office chair, relaxing and having a nice cigar. Something else that was really a sign of the times was something that says right here in the booklet is, the bank never goes broke. If the bank runs out of money, the banker may issue as much more as may be needed by merely writing on ordinary paper. This is evident of something that happened throughout history that they're referred to as bank runs, in which whenever the stock market crashed, that's where a lot of the money that the banks had a lot of their money in the stock market. Whenever they crashed, the banks didn't have money on hand, so whenever, huge masses of people ran into the bank to try to get their money out, the banks didn't have it, so people couldn't get a hold of what they had. I mean, whole fortunes or whole savings were lost overnight. It's always really weird because I remember playing Monopoly as a kid. It was a fun game. It took forever, but it was never really explained to me that that's what the game was about. It was supposed to be just a game, but it's not just a game. It's about the society that they lived in 1934 and the society that we live in today. I mean, we're sort of told and trained that we're supposed to be against each other, and that more money equals more power. And like I said, with the American dream, it's sort of what we're given to believe is hope, as people on the bottom looking up at people at the top of the financial ladder. And we're sort of told that we can get there through hard work and perseverance, even though that isn't always true. Like Monopoly, you're playing a rigged game by somebody else's rules. And you can kind of only do what you want within the confines of the game. Thank you for your time.